Hey everyone. It is Sunday morning. The date is, what is today? November 14th. And so far, no success yet, but figure I'll just do the daily update and keep everybody posted. Seems like this works pretty well. Plus, I can do it without having to type out a whole long novella. What's up, Pickle? And considered putting some freezer meat down on the ground. I actually had told my neighbor across the street that I would give him a deer if I get an extra one. He said he would take the meat. So I thought about getting that, but before I decided I was going to pull the trigger on beautiful, nice, big, healthy doe, she noticed that where I was about 150 yards away from her, I couldn't tell what I was. So she started to walk towards me to figure it out, and she never did spook, but she was trying to angle to get downwind, and I was leaning over the hood of the vehicle at that point. The angle got too bad. I got to where I was uh, starting to point back towards my windshield wipers, so I decided she was definitely going to live to see another sunrise. So, or at least if she doesn't, it's not going to be by my doing. And what else? I watched a buck running a doe around on a meadow that is part of the property. I can hunt it, but they were just too far out. And the only time that they were within range at all, he was standing staring at me, trying to figure out what I was doing over there. And I just don't like taking a shot through the front chest between the front legs. So, hey, Squib. Uh, so I didn't want to take that shot, and he'd been running pretty hard. I was watching him run this doe. She'd go full tilt out across this meadow, and he'd have to run even harder to get in front of her and cut her off. That happened about 3 or 4 times while I was watching. So I have no idea how hard they'd been running, but I just didn't really want all that lactic acid buildup in the meat. So I wasn't too crazy about dropping him. He wasn't a super big trophy animal. Since the meat wasn't going to be as high quality as what I like it when they're just kind of moving around and not working hard. The only time he was standing still, he was facing me, so there wasn't much I could do. Um, what are people saying? Is there much opportunity to get out of the vehicle to hunt? I'm not stuck in the vehicle, Pickle. I'm lazy. I get out of the vehicle quite a bit. I sit until there's motion or movement, and then I do get out. I mean, I don't shoot out the window, but it's just it works so well. The deer don't spook. They're so used to ranch vehicles, tractors, pickups, side by sides, four wheelers, what have you. They don't really spook that bad. So sitting inside the vehicle seems to work just as well, and I'm not limited to just one or two spots with a blind that way. So uh, definitely can get out and hunt if I decide I'm going to do it. But the seat's so comfy, so I'm lazy. Squibb says the distance out here would be a good place to hunt with an infield. Be a good place to hunt with a 300 win bag, honestly. Uh, but yeah, I mean, right where we're sitting, I've got the boss buck decoy sitting up, and I haven't lasered him, but he's inside 100 yards where we're sitting right here. But I mean, I've got 80 acres worth of corn out my driver's side window, and it's alfalfa field that it's bordering up against I got the boss buck sitting in the alfalfa, and there's probably another 25, 30 acres of alfalfa sitting there. Um, I mean, I could easily take a close to a half-mile shot if I had the deer in my scope. I wouldn't, not with the 270, but the distance is here. So the people that are shooting magnums, there's a reason for that. Open country is kind of what those were designed for a little bit. That way, if you're good at what you do and you're confident with that 500-yard shot, you're still going to have plenty of energy to take the deer down with one of those magnums. What else are people saying? Yeah, that would suck. I'm glad I don't have to worry about the deer running across onto the neighbors very often. Very, very rarely does that ever happen to me. No 300 win mag. Squib doesn't have to compensate. Yeah, that's okay. I still want one. I don't need one, but I want one. I think the biggest reason that I want a yeah, sure it will, Squib. 223 Remington will kill at 500 yards, but I'm not confident in my shot placement to be that perfect with that little lead, that little energy at 500 yards. So I'm not going to do it. Um, I'm not going to shoot 223 at a deer, period. I think it's also depends on the deer. In Texas, where the deer are the size of a large dog, then speaking of large dogs, she stuck her head up. That's funny. You see her. There's the puppy. She's riding in the back seat. Sandhill Sweetheart's in the passenger seat. Um, yeah, you can get away with 5.56. Excuse me, a 223 Remington is probably going to be the chambering for a hunting round, but you can get away with that in certain areas. These deer, I'm just not going to do it. The only deer I've ever lost, I shot with a 223. 243 and up, I've always recovered the deer and very rarely had to put more than one in them. So, yeah, Kathleen, I've got a 270, which is what I like. I actually love a 243, but 270 gives me 30% more lead um, with comparable muzzle velocities, not much more recoil. So it adds on for me about an extra 50 to 100 yards of confidence in a quick kill. Um, but yeah, so far nothing happening. It is it's just a few minutes shy of noon o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, which is of course the only time zone that matters. Um, but hopefully something moves around a little bit. I really like to get something done early in midday here because my beautiful bride has to work tomorrow. So whether I get a deer or not, she's headed home tonight. And if my cousin ends up getting his, then he's also headed home tonight. So I'll be headed home. But if he doesn't get a deer and I don't get a deer, then we'll both stay and hunt tomorrow yet too. So that'll kind of be the plan. But I'd like to be able to get something while I'm not the only one. While I'm not the only one here. And I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring for the morning update. If I get to do one, it's probably going to be shaky. I won't be sitting in this vehicle because it's going home tonight. Actually, this afternoon. It's probably heading down the road before I go for my afternoon and evening sit. But that'll be out of the vehicle pickle because I won't have my vehicle. Uh, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But either way, anybody that actually knows what hunting's all about, it's just like I said yesterday, it's good to be home. It's good to just enjoy being out here and seeing the deer move around and paying attention. I've got some really bad video footage from my video camera um, from Friday night before season opened, and I will see if I can clean some of that up at some point here and post that up too. And after I get a chance to edit some of that, just watching a nice 4x4, good size. He was probably about a 2.5 year old, maybe 3.5 year old deer, running a whole bunch of little fellas away from his woman on Friday night. So that was kind of cool to watch. And a few other deer running around too. So at different points, 3 different bucks challenged that big guy that we were watching. So it's kind of fun just to watch him run those other fellas off and guard his doe that he had claimed. So that was kind of neat. I haven't gotten any video camera footage since then, but we'll see what happens. So if I get some good footage, I'll post it up. I am not going to be talented and coordinated enough to probably film my actual hunt. Anything that I shoot, I'm sure there won't be any hunt or any hunt. There won't be any film of it. But Sometimes squib, sometimes it is. Hunting is sitting still, freezing your butt off, waiting for a dumb animal to cross in front of your stand or blind. Other times, when I first started deer hunting, there were so few deer in this country that hunting was two or three people. Uh, you found a grove of trees, a shelter belt, and you dropped off the unlucky person at one end, drove around to the other side. Two people sat up to watch both corners, and then the first guy, once everybody was in position, he waited long enough that usually, and we all took turns, but that guy would walk through the trees and push anything out that was hiding there. And then the other two people were there to, if anything came out, then they might get a shot at what came out of there. So we had to do that. We had to walk every grove of trees on this place, every canyon, all that fun stuff back in those days just to find deer. And in 25 years' time, the population has exploded so much that my dad's actually wishes more people would come in and help thin them down. We don't have enough bucks really to yet. Uh, they're coming back after the EHD or chronic wasting or whatever. I think it was two different sicknesses went through. Um, but they're coming back. There's a lot of really young up and coming bucks now. But with all the family, we don't have enough to start bringing in extra hunters. We did that for several years. My family had a hunting service, guide service, and that's over with. But everybody comes up, shoots a buck, goes home. The does don't get thinned down, and so there's an abundance of those. So I'm always looking for a friend to come help thin those down. Usually January we can get a 14. If you're in the state, it's a $14 antlerless permit to come up and shoot some freezer meat in January. So I would love to have somebody come and join us. Gunpowder's out there. What's up, Jesse? Squib hunts because his wife likes venison, and she likes to hang out with your friends, or you hunt to hang out with your friends. I think you mean that you hang out with your friends, but if your wife likes to hang out with your friends, that's even better because then you both can hang out with your friends. Uh, Squib says hunting's more of a chore. So Francisco Oliveira done that. You talking about the walking and blocking? That's how we used to do it back when we were all a lot younger and had those younger legs. Now that I found out that I can be lazy, it's really hard to want to go back and do the work. So Gunpowder's excited. Tardot's out with a rifle today, but Jesse's looking to go back out with the bow again. Maybe one day I'll get into that. I just don't have the time and money to stick into getting started. And I'm not going to spend the money for sure because I don't have the time. It's a 2.5 hour drive just to get up here. I don't get up here near often enough with our other jobs. So I'm not going to spend what it takes to start bow hunting on top of it because I don't have any place closer to go. So maybe one day things slow down and I get to spend more time up here. That'd be okay. I'd love to get into bow hunting and try it. I just know right now it's not really going to be an option. So you're not going out with your 30-30? Why not? Really curious to know now. Gunpowder. She says she gets a 2 week break of hunting because she's not going out with her 30-30, which seems sad, wrong. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm sure there's a good reason. But yeah, I'm gonna probably close this up and no app. Oh, I could have bought you a box. Walmart had a box the other night when I was in there. I bought one box of 270. That's all they had, and there was one box of, I think it was Winchester 30-30 that was in there. Um, so wish I'd have known. I could have got it for you. I don't know how you got it from me, but it's starting to come back a little bit. Uh, when ammo first started hitting the shelves, I told my wife, I said, I need to buy a new rifle, either a 308 or a 300 Win Mag, because that's all the ammo I can see on the Shields shelves. About when was that? Labor Day weekend? No, not Labor Day weekend. Yes, it was. It was Labor Day weekend. We came up here, put out the cellular cameras, and then drove over to Sioux Falls uh, to hang out with family. And I went to Shields that day, and they had lots of 300 Win Mag and lots of 308, and not just 7.62 NATO range ammo. This was actual. They were getting hunting loads in, but that was it. And I couldn't get Sandhill Sweetheart to sign off on buying a 300 Win Mag rifle, which I don't know why. Uh, I don't talk about this a lot because I don't think she wants a lot of people to know, but she's a fun hater. And I think that's why. So don't tell her I said that. Kidding, she's right here. And she's not a fun hater, but I tell her that all the time whenever she won't let me have any fun. So, feels has lots of ammo, still priced too high. I agree with that, but everybody else has it priced too high. The box of Federal Power Shock that I bought a week ago, or not quite a week ago, for $24.99 last year was $17.99, and on sale it was $1 or $2 less. So it's gone up about half. Just buy the rifle. I've often said that it's easier to get forgiveness than permission, but at the same time, I try to save that for when it's worth it and not abuse the privilege. So I won't always get that forgiveness if I just expect it all the time. Uh, the rifle on the well, that's what I would have done anyway because it's Shields and I get the points. But eventually, that bill comes due, and we very, very rarely don't pay the balance. We don't like paying interest, so um, that's the trouble. Take too long to pay it off. The money's gotta be there. Got to be there soon enough. So, Gunpowder says she tells Targot every relationship needs a boring person and a crazy person. She's the crazy one, obviously. I think Tardot could be if he didn't have to be the boring one. I think sometimes you're holding him back, Jesse, and not just when you chain him in the basement, but overall, he can't be the crazy one because you already are. So quit throat punching people and let him have fun just once. Sandhill Squib says if I don't go out and buy a rifle, then he will. Um, okay, so for the sake of Squib's marriage, I need to go buy a rifle. Yeah, she's smiling and shaking her head no, which usually means no. So I don't think it's gonna work for me. It's a no for me, dog. Squib, you're gonna have to buy the rifle. In fact, if you want, here's what we could do. You buy a 300 Win Mag, and since you don't have a need for it, you can keep it at my house. I will just let it. I'll be its foster parent if you want. That'd be okay. I'll even feed it. I'll make sure it's clean, well taken care of. I'd be okay with that. So I'd buy it if I cared about others. But you need more of his attitude. But that I should buy the rifle if I care about his marriage.
No, not to care so much.
Oh, she says she needs more of your attitude, Squib, because she cares too much about others. So I don't know. Maybe she thinks you're uncaring. I'm not sure what she actually meant by that, but anyway, um, we had a bunch of people. They caught up. Everybody's left. There's 3 of you left. So, oh no, there's 4 people coming and going. But I'm gonna call it. We've been going almost 20 minutes here, so I'm gonna knock it off and check in with everybody probably tomorrow, and just let you know that there's either good news or just more bad news. But again, the only Squib says it's for the greater good. Just use the F word a lot more. You'll care less. Well, we'll certainly have to give that a try. Um, but anyway, no BBD yet, except for well, I don't know. Today's not really a bad beard day. Yesterday was a lot worse. But we'll see. We'll see if I'm having a bad beard day by the end of the day. And that's still going to probably be the only BBD. I don't really I guess I could. I'm gonna post some pictures that I took yesterday, just of different different spots here on the ranch. The big tall pointy hill that's in our logo. I got some really cool pictures of it last night with the sun was hitting the hill, but the sky behind it was really dark blue cloud. And I'll post a couple of those pictures up. Um, I'll put them on YouTube and Facebook, so that way those of you that don't have Facebook, you still get to see some of these pictures. They're pretty cool. Um, but nothing else to speak of. So you guys have a great day. Kathleen, you have a great day too. Miss you. Wish we could have got together when we were in Texas. That would have been cool. Um, so you know what? You're just gonna have to make a trip to Nebraska. That's all there is to it. And that's it. Because I don't know that we'll be in Texas anytime soon. So um, everybody else have a great day. Love you. God bless you. And that'll be it. Still representing.